our guys are very thrilled in the locker room, and feel like it's a victory we've been needing, and to get to do it back home and to do it decisively is exciting. So very proud of the guys. Question.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the defensive performance, especially early with the turnovers, the interception returns?
Yeah, a couple of pick sixes is a big deal. It's a great way to get on the scoreboard, and it really kind of skews statistics. I think offensively, I'm not sure the exact number, but we had somewhere in the 20s of snaps in the first half. But we were very effective, and we'd gotten on the board with Dwight's interception return for a touchdown, and so that certainly helped spark us, and to get two of those on a night is a big deal.
You talked early in the week about starting fast and how you wanted to do that early in this game. How were you pleased with how you played?
Very pleased. I thought we started fast both sides of the ball. That was really important for us to do. Felt like we got the tone set early, and really did a good job in the first half of winning on third down. We thought that was another one of the keys. I know the defense stayed on the field way too long, but again, those are things we'll continue to improve. I think that there's a lot of positives to take from tonight on a team that beat Indiana. And last I checked, Indiana played Penn State to one touchdown.
How good is Dwight Dobbins, or how good is he going to be?
Well, it's pretty special to see a guy that's a true freshman making those kind of plays, being pushed into some action early on in his career, and I think he's just continued to, to be productive. Mike, we had talked in fall camp about our freshman, and he was clearly the defensive back that stood out the earliest to us. And Coach Malone has been very excited about his progress, and frankly, he got pushed into action maybe a little sooner than we would have wanted to in terms of just being a full-time corner. Like to try to bring those guys along and make them a nickel back and those kind of things, but he's really responded well. Been proud of him.
Lance Denbar, 40 carries. He made him work for all his yards. Just talk about how the game plan was. The game plan focused on him?
Well, yes. I mean, he was definitely the playmaker that they had. I think that I don't want to speak for Coach McCarney, but I think clearly you saw what their game plan was to try to just keep pounding the ball and try to shorten the game a little bit. I think they did that effectively. Dunbar's an outstanding running back, and I thought, honestly, as far as he's concerned, we really kept him hemmed in pretty well.
Coach, when we got up there, we could hear the players down in the locker room. They're pretty jacked up about this.
Oh, yeah. No, this is one of the things we want to do is we're not going to have any, there's no little W's. They're all big W's. And so we celebrate all the W's. And they're excited. They think that we believe we're on track. We were going into a bye week with an opportunity to hopefully get a little healthier, to make some corrections, and then a chance to come right back here and get after UAB, another conference game.
Does the off week come at a perfect time for your football program?
I think it's a really good time. We're not in bad shape, but it will not hurt for us to have some healing up time, and just probably a little emotional let down a little bit for this week will be good. Five straight weeks, and I think this is a good time probably for us heading into conference.
How important was it as you headed into conference after what you've been through? Huge. I think
that pendulum swings both ways, but you sure want to be going into conference feeling good about your play and on an upswing. And again, I don't want to make a big deal about it, but I think North Texas is a much improved team over what they've been in the past, and again, I think that showed with the win that they got last week, and I think this is a quality win for us.
Well, talk about the way you started. I mean, you've gone up against some of the best in the country, and you come out. Is that where that paid off?
I think so. I really do. I think the intensity of the competition that we played, I think, prepared us to be able to start, not just start the game early, but I think to be prepared physically and match up well. There wasn't anything that shocked us in terms of what we saw from them that we haven't been seeing over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
When I wrote down the list of the receivers you weren't playing tonight, I wasn't sure you were going to be able to put 3 out there, but as it turned out, it looked there like everything was fine.
turned out all right.
Can you talk about, I mean, maybe
Well, we
some
had a
guys-
couple of guys get injured during the week and weren't able to play. It's nothing real serious, but they weren't able to play tonight.
What about Clay Sears?
Clay just continues to be a go-to guy for us, and I think he, you know, again, we talked about that coming out of fall camp. We felt real good about Clay's development, and I think he's beginning to show what we think he's capable of being, and probably is a matchup problem for some defenses because he can play in space and still is a big enough player as a tight end to get in there and bang around.
GJ was 20 of 31 for 314 and 3 touchdowns. Kind of performance you expect out of him?
It was. He was very solid. I think GJ would probably critique himself a little tougher than that. He had a couple of throws that he let get away from him, but thought he did a great job of protecting the ball and making good decisions and really being very, very effective in, you know, taking the right throw at the right time.
Coach Cornelius gets a lot of the headlines because he's a senior, he's the tackles leader. But is Sean Jackson just as important to your team?
Oh, I haven't seen, again, maybe the stats play it out, but it looked like to me Sean had a really good game, was at least productive. It meant a lot, and I'm sure you guys figured it out, but it meant a lot for Cornelius to be wearing Jordan Clinkscale's jersey, and you know, emotionally, those older guys were very close to him, and it was an opportunity for them to honor him in this way. But Sean continues to develop, and he's got a great future. I think he made some really good plays tonight. I have to go back and look at it.
Talk a little bit more about just the run you've had against those top 5 teams and those tough losses, how important mentally it was to come out here and get away.
Well, you said you heard us singing downstairs, so I'd say that's pretty big. You know, we don't sing after practice.
With the injuries to the receivers plus GJ being out for a certain time, I know it's probably important for him to work and get some downfield passing tonight. How much of your offense have you actually been able to run so far this year with all the maybe defenses you've played?
We've still got some that we think that we'll have ready for conference play. We really had come into this game knowing that in fact, I talked to a couple of you before, I think, where we're going to do a little more of a personnel grouping that kept Willie and Clay Sears on the field at the same time. And so with Bernie and Clay and Willie and then, you know, Jordan or Ricky or whoever that other receiver is, was really a good combination for us, and it allows us to run the ball. And so I think we're starting to find our combinations that really play into it, and then it kind of forced us into that a little more with those other 2 guys not being available tonight.
Did you hear that SMU beat TCU?
No, I knew they were ahead when I left the field. Really,
So
a
that's
great win for our conference.
Yeah.
And Coach Jones.
And UAB was beating Troy tonight too. So, how anxious?
Marshall beat Louisville.
Yeah, so it's going to keep getting easier, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
How important? I mean, how excited are the guys that the rest of the season's conference play?
Well, I think, you know, I'm just telling you what they've been saying all week and what they continue to talk about in the locker room. I mean, this is what we play for. The seniors, you know, Cornelius brings it up all the time. They've not been on a team that went to the Liberty Bowl. You know, those were guys that have already graduated, and it's a big deal for us to have an opportunity to compete for a conference championship and a chance to go to the Liberty Bowl, and that's certainly the goal that's in front of us still.
Bill, I know you're going to downplay this, so I'm going to ask you not to. What does it mean to get your first win out here?
And again, it's a great win because it's a win. And, you know, we talked about that in our meetings. You know, there's no asterisk or little L's by that one lost record because of who we played. And by the same token, this is a win, and whether it's the first one or it's you know, hopefully someday it's the 101st one. I want to be celebrating it the same way.
What about the play Alan Dock made on the goal line in, I think, first or second quarter, and just his play in general?
Well, Alan has been really an incredible player for us all year. You know, most of you know that he got forced into playing even more because of DeAndre being out. It's great to have DeAndre back, but Alan is just the kind of guy that does everything right. You know, he's never the guy that you would recruit because of his size. It's because of his intelligence and his athletic ability and his heart and all those things, and he plays at a very high level, and it does not surprise me that he would make that kind of play. Anything else? Thank you.